passing tone is a note or notes that pass stepwise in an ascending or descending direction, connecting two notes of a chord or chords. Here we have a C chord and C, D, E notes in the melody. C and E are chord tones and D is a non-chord tone. Since all three notes are moving stepwise in the same direction, ascending, and the D is connecting two notes of the C chord, this is a passing tone. If the notes were used descending, the D would still be a passing tone. In this example, we have four notes moving stepwise in the same direction. The C and G are chord tones, and the B and A notes are non-chord tones. The B and A are connecting the C and G in stepwise motion in the same direction, descending. They are both passing tones. Here we have an example of a neighbor tone. Notice that C is part of a C chord, so the two C notes are chord tones. The D note is a non-chord tone. Like passing tones, neighbor tones move stepwise, but a neighbor tone begins and ends on the same note. Therefore, the D is a neighbor tone. To be more specific, D could also be called an upper neighbor tone because it is higher than the C. In this example, B is also a neighbor tone. The melody begins and ends on C with stepwise motion to the B and back to C. Since the B is below the C, this could also be called a lower neighbor tone. If an upper neighbor and lower neighbor tone are used in succession, they are referred to as double neighbors or changing tones. Here we have a C chord. The melody begins and ends on the C chord tone. Since B is a lower neighbor to C and D is an upper neighbor, the two used together are called double neighbors, also known as changing tones. Changing tones surround a chord tone from a step above and a step below.